Hi, this is Farhan and welcome back to another video. Apple finally unveiled the new MacBooks with its own custom-built Apple Silicon, the M1 chip, and pretty much the entire tech world has gone crazy over these new devices, and rightfully so, because on paper these devices look absolutely amazing. But the question is, should you even buy these new MacBooks? And in today's video, that is exactly what we'll be talking about. So what exactly is this M1 chip and what makes it so special? Well, it has an 8-core CPU, an 8-core GPU, and a 16-core neural engine. But the thing that makes it truly remarkable is that compared to previous Macs, they needed multiple chips to deliver some of its features, including processor, I/O, security, and memory. But with this M1 technology, what they have done is they have combined the entire system onto a single chip, which is basically called a system on chip. And because of this integration, it makes it even more efficient and makes it give amazing performance. What these roughly translates into is about 3.5 times faster CPU and about 5 times faster graphics performance compared to the previous Mac. But having said that, and although it does look pretty amazing on paper, and we have yet to confirm it when these devices actually come out, but the average Mac user is not going to see a huge difference in their everyday work unless you are working with graphics or doing some intensive work. But there is one aspect of these new devices with the M1 chip, and that is the battery life. And boy oh boy, have they done amazing work when it comes to the battery life. Battery life is something that affects pretty much every MacBook user, and improvements to the battery life is pretty much appreciated by everybody. And because of how efficient these new M1 chips are, the battery life on both the MacBook Air and the MacBook Pro is absolutely amazing. Although they both have the same M1 chip in MacBook Air and MacBook Pro, the only difference in them is the MacBook Pro has a fan built in, while the MacBook Air is a fanless system. And because of these M1 chips, the battery life on the MacBook Air is about 15 hours of wireless web browsing and up to 18 hours of movie playback time, while the MacBook Pro has 17 hours of wireless web browsing and 20 hours of movie playback time, which is absolutely ridiculous. And this is pretty much the highest jump in one generation when it comes to the battery life. Now the question, should you even buy these new MacBooks with the M1 chip? Now, unlike a smartphone in which you might update it every year or two, people generally tend to keep laptops for much longer, and people might keep them for about 5 to 7 years. So this is a purchase that you're looking to do for the next 5 years. This is something that you're going to be keeping for the next at least 5 years. Now, one thing you should also keep in mind that although the internals have been massively upgraded when it comes to these MacBooks, the exterior is still the same. So if you are a person who is really picky about the bezels and pretty much the exterior, or trying to have the new device, this might not be for you. But what I would suggest is that if you are a person who values battery life and performance, this device is definitely, I would definitely recommend the new MacBooks. And if you have decided to buy the new MacBooks, the MacBook Air or the MacBook Pro, keep in mind that both of these MacBooks have the same M1 chip built in them. Also, do note that the MacBook Pro has a fan built in while the MacBook Air does not. And because of this, the MacBook Pro might be able to sustain power for much longer. And if you are if price is a big factor for you, then do keep in mind that the MacBook Air is about $300 cheaper than the MacBook Pro. Well guys, that was the video for today. Let me know what are your thoughts regarding these new MacBook Air and MacBook Pro with the M1 chip down in the comment section below. And I will be coming out with separate videos on the MacBook Air and the MacBook Pro once I get my hands on them. And if you're new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and give this video a like. And I will see you next time.